will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. You're tuning in live to the Healthy Soul Talk Show with your girl, your favorite therapist, Dr. Kimberly Thomas. Welcome, come on in. It's a beautiful evening. The sun is shining. It's just been an amazing day. And if you're tuning in live on Blog Talk Radio, thank you for joining us. If you want to call in to the show, you can dial 323-870-4375. Again, that's 323-870-4375. Press 1 to join. If, of course, if you're tuning in live on Facebook, thank you for clicking in. If you can just give us some thumbs up, some hearts, and share. We greatly appreciate it. And of course, you could always join us in the comments section. And if you want to email us, you can email us at hst@ttlomedia.net. Again, that's hst@ttlomedia. And of course, you can follow us on all social media platforms at Healthy Soul Talk. And of course, find all the shows on TTLO Media on iHeartRadio and Spotify. Again, welcome. You tuning in live to the Healthy Soul Talk Show with your favorite therapist, Dr. Kimberly Thomas. How are my favorite producers doing on this amazing evening?
I'm good. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm all right. The weekend is almost here.
It's almost here. Huh? Come on. It's almost here. Ain't getting here quick enough. Lord.
What?
No, it's good. No, it's good.
What are you doing with your days? Are you ready for school to start back?
No, actually, I'm not.
All
I got
righty
some
then.
disappointing news that
What?
it might be starting soon, a week earlier than I thought. So, yeah.
So CPS is starting on the 30th, right?
Of what?
August.
Yeah, no. See, we talking about August, like the 5th or the 6th for me.
What?
See what I'm saying?
That's next week,
What'd you say?
right? Is that next week?
Oh, it's the 9th. See, she over there correcting it for me already. The 9th.
Really?
See what I'm saying?
Really?
What? Yes, I got a problem with it. Yes. 9th.
When is it going to be confirmed?
I don't know. It probably is confirmed. I just don't know.
Are you intentionally avoiding?
No, there's been no official release. Some folks just have information. There's been no official release, and I ain't got nothing in my email, school related.
Wait a minute. How about the students?
Well, I think it's
August 23rd.
Oh, never mind. Hold on. There's an email that was sent at 5:05 today. Hold please. That's my call waiting.
Oh my God, that's funny.
August 23rd.
Okay, that sounds a little bit better.
For the students.
For the students.
Oh, is it? Okay then.
They got to work about the work.
They
They got to train about the train.
Okay. Okay. Well,
This year, we will be hosting 2 weeks of professional development
2 weeks.
that will provide a strong foundation and launch to the school year. We will begin Monday, August 9th, unless we communicate otherwise.
In person.
All faculty and staff are to report to the building every day. I'm reading this as I'm finding this out. We're all finding this out. You and I are finding this out together.
I feel like you're going to go home and process that a little bit more.
The purpose of this message is to help you prepare for the start of PD week.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, okay.
Wow.
All right. Well, it's been a good summer. Well, here's the thing. I thought it was just a rumor that CPS was starting on the 30th. I really did, but we planned a vacation. So
We trying to plan one. That's why I'm not happy about these dates.
we'll tell them it was pre-planned and you can't change any arrangements.
If it was going to be on Zoom, it wouldn't have bothered me because, but now they talking about in person.
In person.
Right. I want to be like the people who was in Haiti all school year.
What?
I'm sorry. I said that out loud and they might be watching. Wow. Yeah, I did say that out loud. Pray for me. Right.
Tanya, how you doing?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, little old me? I'm fine.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. What about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm ready for August. I need to reset. So.
Did you get you a reset, retool, relaunch shirt? No? We should get you one.
You should get
What?
you one.
Who-
What size?
A reset, retool, relaunch.
From who?
From me.
You?
Those are my new shirts. Yes.
Okay, then. I'm going to buy a
it's my
size
new
too
shirt.
small because that'll force me to, stay on track.
Are you popping peanuts over there?
Popping peanuts?
Hope you ain't got me on camera eating peanuts. Let me see. Yep, she got me on camera eating peanuts. Thanks.
What? Okay, then, y'all.
Right.
Tuning in live to the Healthy
the nice
Soul
shuffle.
Talk Show. Thank you for joining in. Let's get started. All right, let's jump on in here. You know how we do it. We always kick off the show with spiritual connect point, right? And not be in my feelings.
Uh-oh.
Be in my feelings about this. Should I do anything over here?
That's just the antenna on that, whatever that mic is. Someone like something.
So, I thought about this question because I'm still learning, right? And I think we talked about this a while back, not as in depth like this though. But, for me, it took me a while to understand how to give my time back, right? Using spiritual gifts, right? Talent, because I always felt like and was under the impression that everything you do as such should be done in the church. And so, I mean, it was really, I wouldn't say it sparked like anxiety or anything, but it was always a great concern, right? That finding your place, right? In church to use these gifts, to be of service, right? To give back what God has blessed you with, and obviously as I grew, I don't know, this is just me, fitting in as an adult in church sometimes can be difficult. And so you pull back. And many people leave the church, right? Based on the experiences that, okay, I just don't feel right here. And it was a great disappointment because then I started to feel like, okay, God is blessing me, but I'm not giving back to him how he's blessing me. And I don't know, I just went through this stage like, I'm cheating God. Right? Okay. And so that's, to me, that's different from tithing, right? Because that's different. Yes. That's different, right? But I always felt like because I didn't, or I was not heavily into this, I'd had to grow into that. Using the gifts and talents that God blessed you with does not indicate it should only be used in the church. So the question is, what does the Bible say about using time, talents, and treasure And I'm not going to read this passage, but, I really zoned in Matthew 25th chapter, 31 to 46, right? How it talks about, Jesus explaining, right? That whole concept of when I was hungry, you fed me, right? When I was in need, you fulfilled that need, right? And just that comparison of those who did and who didn't. And I said, there has to be more people out there who either was once at a place or still in this place, right? That the only way they can serve God or use the talents and treasures, right, that he blessed them with is if they are in the church using it. And I could be wrong. That's why I'm posing it like this, but that's not the essence of what this is saying to me, that this is only displayed when it's done in the church. Right, you meet people that come in the church with a need. You meet people in the church that, we have a lot of clothing drives. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but I'm saying I don't feel like that's the only intention, right, that Christ had for us, is that you only do this in the church, right? Because we live lives outside of the church, right? And does that count? I feel like that was a question, right? Does it count that I do it in the work that I do? Does it count, right, if someone I see in the grocery store and they're struggling, right, to get those last few items, right, to feed their kids? Does it count, right? As they say, paying it forward, right? Does that count? Are we Christ-like in those settings? So I had to grow into that, and I'm still getting used to it, right? Because it's like I still want to know that I'm being Christ-like. I still want to know that I'm doing my due diligence, right, as a Christian, right, seeking disciples for Christ and, giving back, right, that he's blessed me, But I just felt like there's a perspective to this, that this just does not apply, that it happens in the church or it evolves in the church, right, from you going to church and doing it. Okay. So that's where I was with that. And like I said, I'm open, right? But I think I felt really guilty because it wasn't happening within the parameters of a church.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So me ministering to somebody, I wasn't in a church, right? I didn't go into a ministry, right? Seeking people that only came into that ministry. Does that make sense? I used it outside of that. And for a long time, I felt like that didn't count.
You're talking about your time or your which are all, you're talking about all three aspects.
All three aspects,
okay.
right? You know what I'm saying? Like that teen, or I work with various populations, and it's like I'm still Christ-like if I see the need, right? God gives me a spirit of discernment to say, help this person, right? I need you to deposit some encouragement, right? I need you to show them the ways, right? Answer their questions that nobody else will, right? That can help them step a little bit further into their future.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because there was no quote unquote church connection to it.
Okay.
That's kind of where I was with that this only applied to in church stuff. This was just church stuff.
So let me you mentioned the Matthew scripture about the parable of the talents.
Yes.
Right? That was Matthew 6, I believe you were talking
25. Where
Matthew 25 or Matthew 6?
25.
Okay.
The one about when the Son of Man comes in glory. And,
you used that one.
Yeah,
okay.
Like when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was in need, you gave me something to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me water. And I'm just like, okay, I don't think that, and this is just me, like everybody in need that Christ sends your way is just not going to come into the church.
Okay, so let's talk about that particular scripture, because I went to, when I got your note, I immediately went to Matthew 6 and 21.
Okay.
And I dealt with it from that standpoint, but I know what you're talking about. But Matthew 6 and 21, if we read the King James version or a different version, that's fine. Okay. Matthew 6 and 21 simply says, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also."
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. Where I am with this is time, talent, and treasure honestly has nothing to do with being in the physical building.
Got it.
Or
Yes,
or
yes.
anything to do with necessarily with ministry. You don't always have to be working in a, let me say it this way, you don't always have to be working in a ministry to be using your time, talent, and treasure.
Yes.
You can evangelize and not be a part of the evangelistic team.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you can say, I'm using my time, or you can have a talent, and that talent is something that you have. Not talent is not something you're born with. It's something that you practice at, and that you grow into.
Yeah.
So we're all given a special. All of us have a special talent or gift. But then when it comes to ministry, when it comes to God, those things are gifted by God. But even with gifts, they have to be honed.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So it depends on what. Now you may have a gift for doing things, but they may not. They may not be, and the way you're built may not allow you to do that in the edifice of a church building.
Right.
Right.
I agree. Yes.
So it may require you to work somewhere else.
Yes.
And still be doing the work of the church, but in a different level, in a different realm.
Okay.
So you don't want to ever be locked into a place or space that says I can only use my time, treasure, and talent. Now, your question did say, what does the Bible say? Right? So you talked about that. So so now you're, because you say, what does the Bible say? Now you're bringing it back to the church. But in your case, right, because that's what you asked your question.
I see.
Right.
I see.
But because you do what you do, a lot of what you do is using your talent, because you went to school to be a therapist. You didn't just, now, yes, maybe you had a gift of being able to talk to people.
Yeah.
But you went to school to hone said gift. Right?
Yeah.
Like I didn't go to anybody's nobody taught me how to what is it, to be able to speak to people in a large room or to speak to crowds. Right? That's just something that I just do.
Yes.
Right? But I did go to school to learn how to deliver certain to be able to learn how to deliver a message, certain ways you stand. You know, there was a group I used to be a part of for speeches. They teach you how to do speeches and how to
okay.
What's the name of those people?
Is it Toastmasters?
Toastmasters.
Yes. Okay.
So I did Toastmasters, for about 3 years.
All right. Okay.
Just because, and I was in sales. So I was trying to do anything to help me with my sales technique.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, how do you work a room? How do you do this? How do you do that? But my gift of just being able to walk into a room and talk to people, that's separate. Right? But how do you use said gift? Right? So I can use said gift in the church.
Yes.
Or I can use said gift in the world.
Yes.
So the question is, now if you said Bible related, how is God getting the glory out of my time, my talent, and my treasure? Right?
Yes.
So my time is the time that I put in doing God's work.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Am I using the best of my time when I use it for God's work? Am I wasting time doing other things when I could be doing this? Now, that doesn't mean I need to be doing God's work 24/7. Jesus didn't work 24/7.
Yeah.
The Bible gives us the examples of when Jesus worked, but I tell people all the time, he did sleep. And I'm sure the Bible does not tell us about it, but there are times when Jesus had downtime. And I just can't believe he wasn't talking about being crucified every day, all day in the 3 years of his ministry.
Right.
Because I'm sure they was laid up at somebody's house, wherever they were staying, and because I want to know which of the disciples was the fool.
The fool?
The crazy one.
What?
Somebody had to be a jokester. Ain't no way you had 12 dudes all day, every day, on the road. Come on now. All day, every day. They wasn't talking about how can I glorify God 24/7. I just don't believe that. I'm sorry. They just were not. So how did they use their time when they were out doing mission work? When they were out doing it, did they maximize? T.D. Jakes wrote a book, one of my favorite books. I've read it twice. I probably should read it again. Called "Maximize the Moment."
Maximize the moment.
Great book. Maximize the moment. I think it's in the paper. It's hard. It's a hardcover, but it also has the paper cover over the hardcover. But the hardcover, I believe, is gold. But it's called "Maximize the Moment."
Okay.
And he talks about taking advantage of those times that we are doing the work. Okay. When you're on vacation, be on vacation. Right? When you're working, when you're doing the work of the now that doesn't mean that while you're on vacation, you may not have an opportunity to you're doing therapy and you can't tell people about. You can't start reading scriptures to people in the midst of therapy. Right. But that doesn't mean they won't ask you. They might not say, well, I go to this church. Well, now I've opened the door.
That is very
right.
True.
In the corporate world, we can't come into our jobs and say, let me tell you about the Lord. But if somebody says, I went to church Sunday and this happened, well, you started that conversation. Now I can engage.
Very true. Very
right?
true.
So that's the proper use of time. Your talent. You have a talent for helping, I'll use it this way, for helping people off of the ledge. Right?
Yes.
So that talent can be turned around. You can use that talent in the secular realm, which is where you work. Right. But you can also use that to calm somebody down who may be in the church who may be going through.
Very true.
Right?
Yes.
Your treasure is whatever gifts you have. So you see, treasure doesn't always mean money. Now, now in some cases, in the biblical term, the treasure, there's some instances where treasure does physically mean money. Okay, but then what do you do? All of your money, because the Bible doesn't tell us that all of our money should go to the church. I know what some crooks might say.
Crooks?
Huh? I know what some crooks might say. I know what some bogus preachers might say. But all of your money does not go to the church.
Right.
Nor does it belong to the church.
Yeah.
But what you do with your treasure, how you invest it. Right. So when you go to Jesus, when he talks about the parable of the people with the talents and what they did with them, some put them under a rug and hid them.
Yeah.
Are you using your talent, your gifting? You know what I'm saying? So here's a good example. I always use Whitney Houston, and I don't do it to pick on Whitney, the late great Whitney Houston. But Whitney Houston was a great example of someone with an amazing gift. Who chose to use her gift and then to misuse her gift. I'm not going to say she misused her gift because she chose to sing R&B.
Oh, right.
I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
Because Whitney would have been, now, would she have been Whitney Houston, still the same Whitney Houston singing gospel? I don't know that to be the case.
Yeah.
Because gospel music has a genre that does not add to the celebrity that an R&B does.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If Beyonce was a gospel singer, would she still be Beyonce?
Right.
We don't know.
Right.
Yolanda Adams is a great gospel singer, gifted, amazing singer. Would she be larger than life if she was an R&B singer?
Right.
Probably. Right. But that's not her. She's using her gift to inspire people to Christ. Right. Whitney Houston used her gifting to make people feel good, right? Now, did she abuse her gift? Yes, because somewhere down the line, she used more of her celebrity, got caught up in the celebrity, and then her gift was taken away. She lost her gift. Yeah. So how you use your treasure, your gift that God gives you matters, right?
Yes.
So go back to your question. No, everything does not have to take place within the four walls. And when I say four walls, I don't even just mean physical building. It doesn't need to take place in the realm of the spiritual.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's where, hurting people are. There's some hurting people there that are holding back or feeling like they're not glorifying God.
Yes.
Right? Because, like I said, they're not per se associated, right, what they're doing with the church. And we live beyond, right, the walls of the church, right? And so that's kind of where I was with that is, it's your life, right, that Christ is looking at, your life, right? Not just your Sunday morning right?
Correct.
Church attendance, right? Not just your how many ministries you join.
Right.
Right. And that's where I want to encourage, because I had to encourage myself through this. Like, okay, you live for Christ, period, 24/7. So let him use you.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Right. It's okay. Nobody's around. Right. It's okay. Like, you know, that there's this sacredness, right, that comes with using your time, your talents, and treasure. You know what I'm saying? But we've kind of magnified it and glorified it that humans must see.
Yeah.
You use your time, talents, and treasure. That's right. So it's like, who's going to see me? Right? Who's going to validate what I'm doing? Right? Is the using of, and that's where I've learned. You know, clearly as I've gotten older and more into Christ in my relationship, that it does not matter who sees. Right? There's no one on this earth that can validate, right, that you are using your time, talents, and treasures for the work of the kingdom.
Right.
But we've been persuaded that way, right? That there's someone must notice you, right? Someone must say something. You hear that a lot now. Oh, don't worry about it if your name is not called and blah blah. Like, how do we even get to that point, right?
because we are a people who, especially us, black folk, we've been overlooked for so long. We felt the need to always call the name.
Call the name.
But because when you're an overlooked people, you want to. A lot of times it's kind of like the parent who didn't have when they were coming up, and then they got, and so they overcompensate.
Yes.
We started doing that in the church.
Okay.
About we want to, we want to thank Sister so and so because she put an extra roll of toilet paper up in the bathroom, and we just want to say a prayer for her. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to a point where everything had to be recognized. Yeah. And a lot of times, and if you think about Jesus's ministry, think about every time Jesus did a miracle. First thing he would say was, which always baffled me, even when I was in school, we talked about this. Every time Jesus did a miracle, he was like, "Tell no man." What?
Right. Yeah.
Bro, I ain't never been able to see. I was born blind. You just picked up some dirt, spit in it, rubbed in my eye, and now I can see stuff and see people, and you gonna tell me go back and don't tell nobody? He said that every time because he never wanted, and he did that because his time hadn't came yet, so he didn't want to get bum rushed by people saying, but even though by the time he got to the crucifixion, he was already, everybody knew who he was.
Right.
But he didn't want his name called. Yeah. He didn't want his name called.
The example, right?
Yeah.
The example.
So be the example. It's like, you know what? Do the work. We know who recognizes it.
Right.
I know who sees it. Right? I don't have to have my name called because I know who sees it. Now, don't get me wrong. When you call the names, us as people, if we did something, all of us have a whether we want to admit it or not, we have a need to be celebrated.
Absolutely. I agree.
Right?
Yes.
At some point, we all have a need to be celebrated.
Yes.
So, it's like I'm laughing at you because the thing is moving around. But no, her camera. Oh. I know you're not on it, but it's like I thought about what you said earlier. But anyway, it comes from a place of we want, at some point, we do want to be celebrated. But if I win a contest, yes, celebrate me. If I, beat your behind in spades or Uno, I'm gonna celebrate myself. You know what I'm saying? But that's just that's just something we do.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think
that's healthy.
It is healthy.
There's nothing wrong with that. It is healthy. But don't
healthy soul talk. Yeah.
Don't live your life based on that. Right. Okay. All right. Yes. Thank you. All right. There we go. I like it. I just hope that there's just something to think about, right? Every day you wake up, are you giving yourself the opportunity to use your time, talents, and treasure? Right? And is it just selective or conditional? All right. Yes. All right. So as we keep moving here, welcome Dr. Brown. Hey, Malia, how are you? Thank you for joining in. Those of you who are on, if you could just say hello, like, share, and we're going to keep it moving here. Now, you know, last week we did a drastic switch.
Yeah.
And this week ain't no better.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
So you know, just I'm gonna give everybody a little bit of time here to switch it over, absorb what we just did, but we got to keep the show moving right to the Did You Know, and I found something quite interesting, and so I thought about that, and I like to help the people, right? So this is equal opportunity, and it's my show, so I can say what I want. Sometimes.
Ooh, you sounding real, kind of Dana spirit I feel over there. That's what I felt. But go ahead. Right.
They'll be all right.
Yeah. That's what I heard too, but go ahead.
I just feel like there's so much I want to talk about. And I have to ramp up to being a little bit more risky, right? A little bit more risky. So I'm just kind of dropping stuff in the water, if you will, to see how it take. So we gonna move on to the Did You Know. So my original Did You Know says, did you know that women's tears diminishes sexual moods? Right? Women's tears diminishes sexual moods. Now listen, that's the nice version. I have to give you now the straightforward, the internet version. Because there's an internet version that I couldn't quite get myself to send y'all. But when I processed it and thought about it, it could be true because I hear this a lot, obviously, in the work that I do. All right, so my version was women's tears diminishes sexual moods, right? Mm-hmm. The internet version says, did you know women's tears kill erections? Hello?
I mean, are you crying during sex?
No, we ain't even got started. It says women tears kill erections, and it says here, ever wonder why guys get so uncomfortable when a woman cries? Probably because they feel their male anatomy shrinking. It says the smell of a woman's tears immediately lowers testosterone levels and kills sexual arousal. Read it again for you.
Cut out my tear ducts.
It says, ever wonder why a guy gets so uncomfortable when a woman cries? Probably because they can feel, and they did list the actual anatomy here, their man part shrinking. The smell of a woman's tears immediately lowers testosterone levels and kills sexual arousal. Hello?
I'm here. I guess you're asking for him. That's why you're saying hello.
Is that what she had? Oh.
Because when you first gave it to me and everything, and I was like,
I was just like, uh-oh.
Me. But then I went to go read it, and I didn't read the man's part. I still didn't believe it for the woman's part either. Oh, and so I was like, okay. I'm like, so you just gonna let a few tears stop you?
So it was more you into it already, and here comes tears or emotion or whatever.
I'm just saying, even period, not even in the act. I'm just saying, like, if I'm not in the act and I'm just happen to be crying, so we gonna let me crying stop us from getting intimate? Are we serious right now? So like that's what I could not understand for me.
So I thought about this and just reflecting on times that I've heard couples where when there is a lot of crying, and this is out of discord, right? How it becomes a turnoff, right? It's like, you always crying and now you hear like this domino effect. Intimacy slows down, right? Or it's less of, because there's always this presence of emotion. So I think my connection is more so with when there's tension, right? There's this, unresolved issue, or we have some rough patches, right, in this relationship, and because it's so much of that, right, the sex drive starts to diminish, right, and I've heard some women say that and some men that they're not in the mood when that happens, right, but some women think that actually jumpstarts the mood because, okay, here I am being vulnerable, right? There's this, so I've heard opposites. Like I've heard some women, not all women, like
very
I said,
jumble to me.
some women who they're being that emotional, feeling that if I'm this vulnerable, then there's this tenderness, this touch, this care that's gonna follow that, and the guy is saying, no, not so much.
I think they've gotten caught into TV and letting TV dictate. These are the same people who are maybe addicted to, or not to say act out those X-rated movies, but think that's what sex is about.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
okay.
I wonder, I wonder how many people really think that way. Are they thinking that way because they see that emotional crying in sex when a female is first having sex the first time and think it's supposed to be that tender or is it after the aggressive argument or that emotional trauma bond and everything, and they want they want that feeling, if you are living in that reality, wanting that, how about this? Cut the scene, because that's not reality.
So
yes.
Why you all excited? Because I'm finna say yes.
Because we can't yay or nay.
I can't yay or nay either. But I'm gonna read this from this article.
Go ahead, keep reading.
It says, I'm assuming this is where y'all got this from or something. It says, in the study, women watched sad films alone and captured their own tears with a vial that they held under their eyes. Then it says later, 24 men sniffed jars containing either the women's tears or saline that had been trickled down from the women's cheeks. And then they wore a pad dipped in one of the fluids under their nostrils.
Oh my God.
Men who sniffed tears judged pictures of women's faces to be less sexually attractive than the men who sniffed the saline, but their feelings of empathy were unchanged. In a separate experiment, 50 men sniffed either tears or saline. Sniffing tears but not saline reduced their reported sexual arousal levels of testosterone in their saliva and physiological measures of their arousal. The researchers also exposed 16 men to tears and saline and measured their brain activity using functional magnetic resonance imaging. Men who sniffed tears rather than saline showed lower activation in brain regions implicated in sexual arousal, such as the hypothalamus.
Thalamus. Okay.
Thalamus.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I can't say that since I'm the guinea pig for the damn show today. I'm gonna say. I what? Okay. I'm gonna say that I am. I don't know. I can't give you a yay or nay.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't say that somebody crying would, stop me from, if I was about to, like, say I had a kid or a daughter, because you say women's tears. Mm-hmm. All right. So I had a daughter who was crying and upset in another room. Mm-hmm. And I went in there while she was crying and was hugging her and she was crying and carrying on. But mama waiting in the other room for me. I can't say I just can't say that if mama waiting in the other room, it ain't going down. I just can't say that.
That's not what it's. I think it's the connection. I think it's the connection.
Who overthinking to me?
Connection to that woman.
Okay.
Right. With the woman you're with, right? Because we're gonna get into hormones and all that stuff later. But I think it's more of the the emotional connection. Obviously, knowing the woman, right? I mean, if a random woman is crying, I don't think you even stop to, say, hey, what's going on, right?
Right. Right. Don't say nothing. Let them cry.
But you know
Right.
what I'm saying? But I think y'all are funny. But
Right, don't say nothing.
I just thought about that in the sense of expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where what does a man really feel when they see their spouses cry, right? Is it a need to go in and care? Does it make you know? And I don't mean not comfortable as in you can't look at them cry, but like it puts you in a different space, right? And this is just a piece of it, just to say, when some women may be expecting a level of intimacy that comes out of them being emotional, right? For some reason that, what's going on between the two of you, that doesn't necessarily that man, right, is going to be in that same space. And he may have a hard time getting into that space, right? Suggested here because of, right, the chemicals that's being released through your tears. And our bodies vibe off each other clearly, right? When you are,
I just lost the article, but I
that
believe
relationship.
It was that particular article was probably written by a man. I wouldn't be surprised if it was done by a man.
Okay. If you're a man out there,
Only because
have you lost your mojo when your wife started crying?
Okay, I don't want to put.
Good evening, Felicia. How are you? You tuned in just in time.
I want to ask you this question, Dana.
What?
Are you here?
why are you asking me? Huh?
I want to ask you this question.
She asked the questions. We just answered. Why are you asking questions?
All right, I'm gonna go this way then.
No, go ahead. Ask your question. Go ahead.
I still think you're overthinking it. So can I?
You was overthinking it earlier.
Can I? No.
Lord, child.
Go ahead.
So, without telling too much.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
I think we
oversharing.
PG-13 now.
Yeah,
Okay.
we are. But can I ask you to remember a time I had said a word and you were like, no. That's what they're trying to equate the tears to.
You said no as in.
No, I didn't say the word no. I'm trying to.
So you said something and I was like, okay, you just ruined the moment or something like that?
Oh.
Yeah.
But I mean, you say I'm equating the tears to that?
That's what the tears
The presence of tears in the scent,
That's the
right?
equation.
Oh.
That's the equation.
I get what you all are saying.
Okay,
I'm
gotcha.
just, I just don't agree.
It's basically saying some men get turned off when their woman cries and they want to have sex at that particular time. You know what I'm saying? That's what I took that as, right? That there are some moments where if you're desiring to be intimate and your tears start flowing because, for whatever reason you want some attention, some, it's how you feeling at the moment, your tears may, affect his arousal state.
I got it.
That's what I took from this.
That's what I understood.
So dry your eyes.
And get busy.
If the tears are not working, right, understand that from a physiological standpoint, right, you may be contributing to his deflection.
There's Felicia's response.
What Felicia say?
Oh my God.
She says, I agree. When I'm happy and being naughty, he all on me.
Alrighty now. All right.
That is.
All right. There it is. All right.
There
The
we go.
HST After Dark show will start.
Right.
Oh my goodness. There we go. All right, y'all. So that's that. Did you know, right? Did you know tears can kill, sexual arousal in men? All right, let's keep it moving since we're talking about hormones. So this this month we've been talking about all about self, right? Getting self together. And so I thought I'd conclude this month by talking about hormones because clearly our bodies are governed by hormones. And so let the hormones rage. Really, it's just going to focus on how our bodies can produce, right? How can we help our bodies produce happy hormones? Right? And so it's just a few that I'm going to talk about this evening. Like, what can you do to help your body produce happy hormones? Right? These hormones that produce positive feelings of pleasure, happiness, and love. Okay, so our bodies have hormones and neurotransmitters that are essential, right, to allowing this process to occur in your body. And guess what? In kind of putting this all together, I'm not going to be like super textbook, but I think that just from a holistic standpoint, talking about what we put in our bodies from a food perspective to who we are around matters in how our hormones, our bodies produce these hormones and neurotransmitters to produce these chemicals that we need to be happy, right? And so paying attention to our heart rate, digestion, also contributes to your mood and how you feel. All right. So we know that there's some hormones that we jump into. And for August, we're going to talk more about psychotropic meds, right? But this month, I want to talk about closing it out with, let's make sure you're doing all you can to produce those happy hormones. All right. So here we go. The first hormone, right, we're going to talk about here is, get my notes together, serotonin. Now, have you all heard of this? Okay, serotonin.
I went to school with her.
What? Serotonin?
Yeah, serotonin. Oh, you said. I'm sorry. What's she saying? Oh, never
This
mind.
is a hormone.
Oh, I thought you meant serotonin. I went to school with her. Sorry. I'm sorry. Y'all go ahead. I'm trying to find me.
Here we go, y'all.
Foam out for my car.
This hormone is the feel-good hormone, right? That all starts in your gut. Got it? Serotonin. And it says here, serotonin is a happy hormone that's mainly produced by the gut. Okay? It's the original happy hormone. It's essential for mood, digestion, sleep, brain function, and circadian rhythm, right? The good old sleep, okay? It says here that up to 90% of your body's serotonin is produced in the gut, okay? And there are two ways that we can ensure that we are making progress in being consistent with our bodies producing this hormone here. And so in looking at that, obviously we start with, some of the foods that we eat, okay? And so there's this suggestion that there are some short chain fatty acids that our bodies naturally produce. However, there's some foods that we can eat to make sure that it's continuously produced. But then there's another precursor called tryptophan, okay? And it's a substance that you can use that helps your gut turn it into serotonin, okay? Now, I'm only saying this because when you think about everybody's preaching health and wellness and fitness, and, we're asking what are your vitamin D levels like, that is the true vitamin, in terms of, are you getting enough sunlight, right?
Oh.
Are you eating?
Oh, I didn't know what you was talking about. Okay, I got it now.
Although that last week, we're going to get to that a little bit later.
Okay.
Oxytocin. But just understanding that you can start making sure from a physiological standpoint that feel-good hormone, right, starts in your gut. And, we don't talk about this enough in our culture. How does your food really make you feel? Right? We know it makes us sleepy sometimes, right? But we don't really get into like how do you actually feel, right, with the food that you eat? Do you feel that it gives you energy, right? Do you feel like it's giving you your nutrients that you need, right? How do you actually feel with those things? And so here it says that some of the things that you can look out for, and you all let me know, like I want to add to this list because it's some things that we may eat a little of that we can actually turn it into a regular thing to eat. So of course they have on here barley, berries, blackberries, right? Garlic, cranberries. They have on here Jerusalem artichoke, legumes, oats, onions, rye, wheat, and pasta. right? So is there anything on this list, right, that you feel like it's just like unrealistic to eat on a regular basis, right? That we know these are foods that help those fatty acids, right? The gut, right? Digestion, which we say part of digesting, having a healthy digestive system helps you have a balanced mood. And I look at that and I'm speaking about that. We always have to ask people how they feel physically when they're in the office. And you'll be surprised at there's so many people walking around that don't feel well in their gut. Whether that's constipation, gassy, as they say, right? Ulcers, they have a pain every now and then, GERD, heartburn, right?
Heartburn.
Yeah, and you may say, well, how does that contribute to symptoms? A lot of anxiety. Because when your anxiety flares up, right, here goes the cortisol, right, disrupting things, sending your body into fight or flight. So your systems all work together, but there's so many people walking around with issues with their gut that they don't give attention to. Right? So that's my first thing here is like, we're starting with the happy hormone. How does your gut feel right now? Right? Are you suffering from heartburn, indigestion? Are you taking over-the-counter stomach aids, right? Pepto, all of that stuff, right?
You got my diarrhea.
Felicia says, y'all funny. The enchiladas last night made me feel comatose, but they was fire. So you can literally be full of it just by your mental health and what you absolutely. I'm you know.
I guess if you're talking about food, like, and how it's making you feel.
Yes.
I mean, like, especially when you're supposed to be eating right and everything, you do have a sense of like, like this, not to say wrong, but like, did I need that Twinkie? Did I need that? Did I need, you ask yourself, like, could I have walked away from them Chips Ahoy cookies without taking one because I wasn't hungry and everything? And so, like, and when you talk about feeling sluggish, like, and you think about it in terms of like, because your body, you like, like this extra weight that I'm carrying, like, you feeling sluggish, like, because I'm not putting the correct things in my body to feel right, to feel healthy. Like, you feel good. Well, some people might. I like oatmeal. You feel good when you eat some oatmeal. You feel good when you have some fruit. You feel good when you, like, you're not putting like, fast food. When you decide, like, what, instead of McDonald's, I'll go to Roti. And eat some Mediterranean food. Like, at least it's a little bit better than this, like, this high saturated fat food. So that's, I understand.
And then I think you have to treat your nutrition, right, like your, how can I say this, like an exercise regimen, right? Because you have to know what foods don't work for you, right? I think that there's so much out there now to research for yourself to see what works for you, right? I know they have prebiotics and probiotics because sometimes our bodies, they don't, have the bacteria that it needs, right, to thrive healthy. And so you have to find, so instead of loading up on quote unquote the prescribed meds, why not try the different foods to help you maintain that gut health? Because we know that ultimately, if you don't feel well, that's going to stress you out, right? It's not going to produce those happy hormones that we're talking about, and so now your health is declining, right? And it's like, this is a short list, right? This is a short list of, I'm just thinking about, they say here, looking at prebiotic foods, right? Adding the good bacteria to produce these short chain fatty acids, hence that support serotonin naturally in your body. Apples, right? Citrus fruits, mushrooms, right? And just all these things where certain things just can't be every once in a while, right? You just can't have fruit salad at the company, lunch, right? It has to be something that you buy regularly because it's something that helps your body naturally produce something for your well-being, right? And so there are also some foods that you can eat that helps produce tryptophan, right? Tryptophan, which is that precursor that helps your body produce the serotonin. And they said sunflower seeds, right? Soybeans, quinoa, milk, cheese, chickpeas, cod, salmon, eggs, right? Beef, chicken, turkey. It's just, let's take a look at, right? How are you treating your body so that it actually, your gut, which is that central, right, system that produces the happy hormone serotonin, what's the condition that it's in right now? Right? What's the condition? And I always, sometimes sometimes my clients look at me like I'm crazy because I'm like, are you sure you're regular? Right? Because right? Because I listen to their answers, right? If you say, okay, sometimes I can go all day without eating, right? Or, I know when I feel dehydrated, right? And I'm like, well, how often do you feel dehydrated? Because then that lets me know how often you drink water like you should, right? Do you take supplements? How often are you buying over-the-counter meds, right, for your digestion? Because I'm listening for how often you don't feel well. You know what I'm saying? So it really has to be, because honestly, we can do therapy 24/7, but in your body, in your physical body, if you're not well, we'll be going in circles because you need medical attention. Your body needs medical attention, right? Your body needs nutrients. Your body needs to be realigned, right? And your body needs to get back on track from a hormonal standpoint. And there actually is a blood panel that actually tests the levels of vitamin D and serotonin, and women have their own panel and men have their own panel. And you have to ask for these things, right? When you go to the doctor. And so that tells you, that's step one, right? In getting your body aligned mentally and physically is where your hormone levels. All right. So that's that first chemical, right? Serotonin. We call it the mood stabilizer. Okay. And some of the things we say, well, we're more than just food. Yes, we are. So think about how much sunlight you get. Right. It matters. They suggest that, and this makes a difference for me. When you're driving, you should have your window down to absorb the sunlight directly, right? In the fresh air. That there's power in, fresh air and walking outside, right? Absorbing the sunlight. Mindfulness, the meditation, right? Being with nature. Those of you who garden, even if it's, mowing the lawn, right? Or planting, garden flowers, right? All this matters in boosting serotonin levels. It's the feel, because you feel good, right? Your body starts to produce these the juices, right? That I'm doing something that actually makes my body feel good. Got it? All right. So that's that first one, right? Serotonin, the gut. It all starts in the gut. If you're not feeling well, please see a specialist, right? Please see a specialist, because rest assured, if your digestion is off, heartburn, ulcers, right? You can't eat, assy foods. You're constantly, popping those, what is that? Tums, right?
Tums, Zantac.
Yeah. Be all mindful of that. Because I feel like as much money as you invest in controlling those symptoms, use that money to invest in eliminating those symptoms.
That's good.
Right? But it's a lifetime effort, right? Once you find what works for you, it's a lifetime effort. All right? So there we go. So what do you all eat a lot of as far as fruits? Because y'all be out.
Fruits?
I been like,
I am a apple, grapes, watermelon, cantaloupe. I'm limited on my fruits.
Okay, but those are good. You have like the rainbow going.
Yeah, but according to some people, I just eat 2 things. So.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, then.
You'll be all right. So, wow. Way to throw me under the
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I eat strawberries.
Okay.
Strawberries, mangoes, grapes,
Okay.
cantaloupe, melon.
Yeah.
Trying to get back in the habit of just.
You eat kiwis too, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I'm not eating that.
And
Nope.
trying to get back in the habit of I used to as a kid I would eat whole lemons.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I like limes. I could do limes.
I like limes too when they're on a margarita.
Yep. But no salt.
You could also put them in water to infuse your water.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do that.
Yeah. Felicia says a lot of people eat when they are feeling anxious or not. I totally agree with that. I can only use rice milk, no soy, no milk, no cheese. I feel so much better. Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you like almond milk, Felicia? Yeah. And I noticed that too. I don't know what it was, but I can't drink cow's milk anymore. And yeah, it was a period where you need to just stop. So no more of that. So I totally feel you on that one. All right, listen, we're gonna keep going here. Next hormone we're talking about is oxytocin.
Mm-hmm.
This is the cuddle hormone.
The cuddle hormone?
The cuddle.
Cuddle hormone.
Oh, allergic to almond and soy. Got it. Okay. All right. The cuddle, oxytocin, the cuddle hormone. Okay. It promotes bonding and trust, and it is particularly active during childbirth where it stimulates contractions. That is where I was first introduced to this hormone. One of the lesser known but equally important functions is as a neurotransmitter that helps regulate stress responses and calms the nervous system. All right. It's been pinpointed in human bonding, generosity, and establishing trust, while other studies show that it might be what it makes some romantic relationships work. Higher blood oxytocin levels have been linked to greater perceived love, responsiveness, and gratitude in couples. Oxytocin is triggered by closeness. That's why it's the cuddle hormone. Oxytocin secretion happens in response to stimuli perceived by the brain, which is carefully monitoring your environment for threats and signs of safety using your ears, eyes, taste, touch, and smell. It's produced in response to touch and even the right kind of eye contact, but also in times of stress to counterbalance the effects of cortisol, which we know is the stress hormone. All right. And it says here, right, if you're wondering how to release oxytocin, it's pretty simple. There is no oxytocin food.
Ain't no vitamin for that, huh? So if he or she don't like to cuddle, ain't nothing you can slide in their drink that's gonna make them cuddle, huh? I just want to make sure, ladies, don't be, if he don't cuddle now, he ain't gonna cuddle. So don't be trying to buy no pill. But just help
You gotta get those neurotransmitters produced. Good evening to God be the glory. Piss Felicia says, I think a lot of people are deficient in that hormone. People need hugs. They get less and less as you get older. I totally agree.
Wow.
Yes.
That's unfortunate.
Here we go. There's no food, right, to produce oxytocin, but that's okay. It's released when you engage in caring relationships and have a loving community around you.
Relations.
Here we go. Romance.
Uh-oh.
Helps produce oxytocin.
No romance without finance.
Can you have romance without finance? Did you just say you got to go after that?
Lord help us.
You can't stay. it costs to stay inside. No, you cannot stay. I mean, you know, like, no.
It costs to stay inside.
Yeah.
You know,
What does that
we're
mean?
not going there. We are
What do that
not
mean?
going there. No.
Okay, you brought it up. You should have just let that go. What in the world?
No.
You saying no, but what you saying?
You asked the question.
Why did you ask the question?
Is there romance with no finance?
Right.
You can be creative.
I was just
You
singing the
may
song.
be
to be honest
limited,
with
is
y'all.
what you're
She
saying.
said you had to have a J-O-B.
I was just singing the song. I didn't know y'all was finna
Oh my goodness.
start a movement.
All right, here romance. You know, and I think, you know, when you think about the term romance, again, it's you are intentionally doing something to produce happiness in somebody else, right? And you obviously respond off each other, right? So I hope that the spouse you're with, you know how to romance each other. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you need to do that in spite of, right? I think so many switches get turned off when there's friction, right, in a marriage. And you just sit there like, so if we have no touch, no hug, no kiss, no hello, no goodbye, we're sleeping in separate bedrooms, you don't even bring me nothing to eat when you go out and come back, you don't wake me up to go to church with you, right? That's an issue. Because remember, not only is, you know, oxytocin not being produced, it's not being produced, right? Mm-hmm. So you're deficient at that point. I can go back to that first hormone, serotonin, right? You definitely not focused on your body, right? And making sure that's up to par. These things have a domino effect, right? And so this is something to this connection is that from a holistic standpoint, relationships matter just as much as, right, how you treat your physical body. You know, people around you, right? Do they bring good energy? Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Do they support, right, good eating habits? Not only just that, but are they good company? You understand what I'm saying? You ever been forced to be around somebody you don't want to be around and you sitting there just mad, right? And you hot,
Yes.
blood pressure up. I mean, you sweating.
Yes.
You got all kind of thoughts running through your mind.
Yes.
Your body is going through a hormonal change.
Yes.
You understand? You're not happy. You're not even trying to force yourself being happy. You're sitting there stewing
Yes.
in cortisol.
In cortisol. Just bathing in it. Just taking a whole shower in it. Just over here.
You understand?
Just
mad.
moist in cortisol.
I'm trying to be serious.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry.
But and you carry that. And you guess what you're not gonna do? Have a good night's sleep. You're not going to sleep.
These are facts.
You understand what I'm saying? So you didn't got riled up, right? All this time, and that thing gonna stay with you until the next day. And now everybody that comes across your path is gonna feel your wrath.
These are extremely large facts that you're
right
spewing.
And you know, we're gonna get to something at the end of this show, right? I want you to ask yourself, what hormonal stage are you constantly in? Right? Stress, cortisol, right? Or the happy hormones. Right? What are you done predominantly in a 7-day work week? You understand? In a 7-day week, what are you predominantly? Right? What are you predominantly? And also says here, caring relationships, soft, friendly touch, right? Friendship, and then having pets. Do you all have any pets?
No.
Okay, why you say it like that? What is going on? What? Are you against pets?
Yes.
Felicia said maybe in this she said I think a lot of people are deficient in the hormone, right? People need hugs. Maybe in this new generation of women, you can get romance with a McDonald's trip. Don't get me started. My mother called me to get all of my photos out of her house. I went to the doctor afterwards. Her blood pressure was 140/100. Wow.
I'm back on this McDonald's trip. Well, you know, a double cheeseburger with extra cheese get you a long way.
Did you say a double cheeseburger?
A double quarter pounder with cheese get you a long way. That stays in my memories.
Oh, that's a true story.
I'm just saying, it don't take a lot, you know.
Listen, okay. It says here, although there is, dig this. There's an oxytocin supplement in the form of a nasal spray.
Uh-oh.
It is primarily used for problems related to childbirth and psychiatric research.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that part.
So so it's supposed to be used for something else.
Well, no, I think it's predominantly used.
Right.
Anybody say, well, yes, it is a supplement.
So now we're going to just be spraying up the nose so you can get some hugs.
No, you're not going to get it. The woman is that's trying to go in labor.
So you can be getting some hugs. We're going to spray some stuff.
No.
Felicia said if you put some bacon on that thing, you might be able to move in. Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. Come on. Look. I mean, you know.
Oh, my God.
It's a difference between easy and cheap.
Okay,
come through now. That's a whole nother show.
Okay, don't now consult your doctor before taking any kind of supplements, okay?
Oh, I thought you were going to say consult your doctor before putting bacon on your double quarter pounder with cheese, but okay. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, y'all, you got it? There we go.
Oh,
oxytocin, the love hormone, right? Socializing, physical touch, right? Helping others, petting animals. Do you like any animals?
Who? Me?
You, yeah.
Yeah, I like other people's animals that's at their house.
What?
What you was gonna say something?
Y'all are funny. Oh Lord, let's move on. Let's
no,
go
but
here,
I do
y'all.
know. I mean, it's like I don't know. I'm not like anti-animal. I'm not a fan of anything.
You don't want one for yourself
in the house, jumping on furniture, beds. I got to walk. None of that.
Okay.
So we want to get.
You can have fish.
I'm cool with a fish. I would love an aquarium. They're a little work, but if you get it done right, you can probably keep one. I'm good with an aquarium though. Maybe a bird.
Really?
Some birds meet their mates.
What? Oh.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's the end of that.
Give him a mate. Okay, then. Never mind. We talking about oxytocin.
This is just all for some cuddles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the cuddle hormone.
It's the cuddle hormone.
So
right?
bringing an animal will help you
Petting,
cuddle more.
touch. It's the touch, comfort, right? To produce that. It's a hormone, right? That produces belonging, love, and you feel
The
feel
feel of cotton.
Right, I'm gonna get you some.
The fabric of our lives.
Yeah, remember the commercial?
It calms you,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
It soothes
You better get this weighted blanket and
This
you're gonna
weight?
be all right.
Oh,
I'm
my
good.
God.
I don't need no
weighted
animal.
No,
blanket.
you don't need no animal.
Why you
good.
can't be the weighted blanket?
Huh? Shh, this is not HST after dark. On my weight got to be a factor. No, I'm just playing.
The weight factor.
All right,
We
y'all.
want the weighted blanket, not the
Oh, my
not the
God.
quilt. There's a difference.
We about to move on. Here we go. Next one here, dopamine.
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 Huh? You sell
The
that dope.
motivational molecule. Dopamine is another hormone that makes you happy while also keeping you alive and alert. It's involved in a wide range of activities, and a number of severe conditions are associated with the dysfunction of the dopamine system. All right. Here are some systems it's involved in: motor control and cognitive function, the brain's motivation and reward system, decision making and impulse control, memory and attention, maternal and reproductive behavior. This chemical is part of the brain's reward system. All right. It's what gives you pleasurable sensations and keeps you coming back for more. Dopamine is considered to be the motivational cog in the system, and it's naturally released when you perceive food or sex, but before you consume it. All right. So thinking about that, right? Dopamine, and of course we're going somewhere with this when you talk about love and belonging and feeding the body what it needs. Okay, so understanding that dopamine is the active neurotransmitter in addictions as well to substances. Hence, that's the twist here, right? The twist here is we research strongly supports, right, that person who unfortunately tries narcotics, right, gets that euphoria in this strong shot of dopamine, right, producing their bodies. Hence, I need more of that. Right, it's that neurotransmitter, right, that sends to the brain. Give me more of that because that felt good, right? And so we do contribute this particular chemical here, dopamine, with again addictions. However, we need it. Right, we need it. There is a healthy way to produce dopamine, as we say here. It's the reward chemical. Got it? It happens when you achieve goals. It happens when you complete a task. It happens, you produce this chemical when you practice self-care. Got it? And it says here, again, we back to the gut, y'all. We back to the gut. Dopamine is a motivational molecule that's also made in the gut. Approximately 50% of all your dopamine is produced in the gut. All right. And again, of course, that would go along with the food, right? The pleasure of eating those good foods. And we know that some of us eat the wrong food because it just tastes so amazing. And the brain says, what?
More. More.
All right.
Eat another taco.
Man, wait, what?
You need another margarita.
Would you eat a low carb taco shell?
I've had the didn't we try some
Mission? Was it low carb mission?
when we was doing didn't we get like the something wheat wraps or something tacos? Didn't we back in the day? We tried something one time. I thought maybe.
Okay.
Or maybe
Okay.
I just did. It's like
I think you did.
Like when I was doing the when we did the 25-day whatever thing. Yeah.
Okay.
At home, maybe you did.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I've tried them before. Yeah. I'm not.
Again, it's
okay.
producing excitement, right? And you know, we've been talking this month about this zeal and zest for life, right?
I'm not gonna say that the wheat taco produced any excitement for me.
Well, the guacamole one. Right?
It was depressing
Really?
to have to eat.
Really?
Yeah, I was depressed. Yes,
Because you had some weed in your life.
It took me to a state of depression that I had to like not eat a real.
But when you start to eat right, your body starts all of
And
that.
thanks you later. Yes.
Yeah, that old material starts to move. It gets you moody.
The old me, huh?
It like that. Anybody who's done cleanses, it gets you moody. You start getting sleepy and everything else like that. That's a whole new. That's another individual that's trying to get out of. It's a cleanse is like an exorcism. I am so serious. Wow. I am so serious. Like
you go through some things. Yeah.
I have seen myself change. Like one time I've done them before, and I had restarted another one. And I just remember in the 12th hour, I was angry with my coworker, and I was like, I cannot do this. And the moment I had the bad food, I felt bad at the fact that I quit. But that's like, the second time around, so soon after first cleanse, it was just totally different.
Yeah. And it's again, it's the completion of it that brings about that dopamine to say, I did it, right? And of course you felt what you felt, but it sometimes you need it, right? To like, I know you felt better, right? Even in the days that you were doing it, it was just a matter of you irritated because your body is used to, right? Eating at a certain time, eating certain foods, and now you were depriving them, right? Depriving it of it.
I was not aware. This is new. I didn't know this. I knew dopamine, the term, only from watching way too many medical shows. That said, when somebody's on the table and their pressure is going to, they always holler dopamine, dopamine. That's one of the words that you hear on ER all the time in any of them shows. Okay. Because it helps blood flow. So I knew that part. I didn't know about the emotional side effects. Yeah. This is all new to me.
Got to be happy about something, right? It's almost like what makes your eyes get big before you even have it?
Margaritas.
I'm done. What? People, places, and things. Right?
What? going to a place with people that serve margaritas.
So
Going to a place with people that serve margaritas. And that's all that right there. Look like 3 to me. Sound like 3 margaritas to go. Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Huh?
Oh my! But that's the essence of it, right? Before you even have that thing, right?
Yes,
Before you
about
be with that person, just the thought of it gets you there, right? You literally produce dopamine before you even get there, right? That's how so many people get hyped up to go to the casino, right?
Okay. No, people do when they think they get a rush.
Yeah, right.
That's what the gamblers say. The people who've been addicted, they say there's that rush.
Yes, even when they're losing.
Yeah, just of being in the place.
Yes.
Because even when other people win, they get excited.
Yes.
Yeah, there's like a rush.
That's that danger, right? That dopamine overload when you're doing something that's destructive, right, for your body, but your body, quote unquote, is loving it.
Yes. More margaritas. Oh, sorry.
All right, so there we go. Dopamine, that. Right? Okay. Dopamine. And you say, okay, well, how do we get dopamine, right? It's all about doing things that make you happy, right? In essence, right? How well do you know you? Right? What makes you smile? What makes you I don't want to say crave, but we can say crave. What makes you motivated? What makes you I gotta get this, right? Because I know it's good for my body, right? And we're not talking about destructive behaviors, okay? But we're talking about...
What do you mean by destructive behaviors?
Tearing your body down.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Heroin use, right?
Oh, no. We ain't talking about no heroin.
But these are... The dopamine that's produced when you take that drug is intense.
Oh, okay,
which
no.
Is why people... Yes. But that's a chemical. There's some other things that can send the same intensity of dopamine. That's why we say, what are you going to replace, right, that destructive behavior with so that you even come close, right, to that level of dopamine feeling that you felt when you used that substance. That's why you just can't say, I give it up and not do nothing. It's like, so...
Felicia said, aren't most of these hormones in antidepressant drugs?
We going there in August, Felicia.
Oh, okay. In August.
I just want to put out
next month.
Understand.
Next week.
You can be producing this stuff yourself. All right? All right, last one here. All right? Endorphins. All right? Endorphins. They call this the painkiller, but also the runner's hormone, okay? And it says here, endorphins make you happy, but not in the way you may think.
Endorphins make you cry sometimes. Sorry. Okay.
Endorphins are hormones, okay? Neurosignaling molecules that function as painkillers. Okay, they inhibit the transmission of pain signals in the central nervous system by binding to opioid receptors, which is the body's natural morphine. Got it? You can boost your endorphins through cardio fitness, right, such as running. All right. Endorphins and dopamine are often confused because each one is a chemical that makes you happy in a broad sense of the term. However, they are in some ways related because when endorphins bind to receptors of central nervous system, dopamine, the pleasure hormone, is released. Right? But we know the distinctiveness here is that pain receptor. Okay. Happy endorphins didn't rise to fame because they block pain signals. Didn't rise to fame because they block pain signals, but because they induce euphoria. Right? The runner's high is caused by a big rush of endorphins. Got it? And so I don't know if you have ever heard this, but people who I do hear a lot of people who run, like they just get this rush of energy, like okay, I could just skip through the day now, and I'm just like, but you just ran 9 miles. What? Aren't you sleepy?
I just talked about that on Sunday. I talked about it on Sunday. The
Okay.
second wind. I talked about that. Yeah, or fresh wind, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it happens. There's a chemical that's released, and it does give you a sense of it's like a fresh burst of energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not just about running. I think they just put that there because, like you said, that's the instant one, right? For a brisk run, especially in nature, right? There's just invigoration there. It's just as exercising in general, right? Produces endorphin. And I don't know if you all, and I have experienced this just being on this wellness journey. When I first started, I was really sore, right, after working out. And the trainer was like, but you got to keep working out to get rid of the soreness.
Come on now, wish you say it again. Come on. You got to get right when it started to hurt. That's when you're supposed to keep going.
Said, get up and do some jumping jacks.
That's it.
I was like, "Are you serious?" But guess what? It worked.
It does work.
I mean, because my legs were cramping. And
Say it for the people in the balcony. Say it for the people in the balcony. Literally.
She said you got to stretch the muscles. Get to moving.
Move it. I like to move it.
So I got to get back on it for August, though. Life happened this month between June and July.
I know, right?
But I promise you, that thing about even if you're sore, I mean, you got to listen to your body if you need to rest. But you have to work out to get rid of the soreness. Like, you got to work it out. Like pull the muscles back into...
But people forget the cool down.
Huh?
The
cool down.
The cool down?
Yes.
What about the cool down?
When working out.
You got to cool down?
Yeah.
But when you're in the midst of the workout, you got to keep going.
Yeah. Or go as intense. So like
work it.
DJ. And I think that's how people intensify their workouts because their bodies, obviously get used to the routines. But yes, working out helped with the bodies. It was miraculous to me. Never experienced that before. Never. Right. So yes, I was very thrilled with that. So got it. Endorphins, right? The painkiller. Do this through exercising, listening to music, right? Watching a good movie, laughing. Okay. And if you really think about that, these are like distractions from the pain that you the physical pain that you may be feeling. You know what I'm saying? You ever just really had a good day and whatever pain you were feeling, you didn't feel it in the next day, right? Because you increased the endorphins in your body. You weren't intentional. And that's why, even people on the journey of healing, right? And those who are, whether that's support group therapy, individual counseling, right? We're always pushing to find things, right? Find things that produce, right? These chemicals in your body so you can feel good the next day. You got to trust yourself. You got to trust yourself that if you start moving, exercise, if you start releasing that cortisol, if you start sweating it out, if you start producing dopamine because you did go to the gym, you did meal prep, you did, call those family members or friends that you've been distant from, these produce happy chemicals. And you got to trust yourself that if you are diligent in doing these consistently, your mood will change. Your mood will be consistent to where now your days aren't dragging, right? You can stop saying, what am I even doing in my life? You begin to find your purpose, right? You begin looking forward to the next day. Heck, you begin looking forward to the weekend. You begin looking forward to, you understand what I'm saying? When you set up routines, you stay connected, right? You're fueling your body the way you need to. You're connecting with people that bring good energy. Your body must produce these hormones to support your level of happiness. Okay? So I just want to leave that there is to trust yourself. That it's not just about mental health, it's also about physical health, right? How well you take care of yourself physically, right, helps you physiologically produce the hormones needed to regulate your mood, right? And so, yes, when your doctor, because that's a lot of times when you go to your primary care and you're firing off, doc, I ain't been sleeping well. I can't concentrate, right? All this stuff, they do what? They do prescribe you meds. And as Felicia pointed out here, right? These are synthetic forms. right? These are synthetic forms of chemicals that if we work hard, you can start to help your body out by producing it yourself. Why I'm bringing this up? Because that determines the dosage, right? And we're going to talk next month about these psychotropic meds to say, okay, let's compare if you change your lifestyle to taking these meds and looking out for side effects. Which one do you want to work harder at doing? Right? Thinking about this. Where do you want to invest most of your time?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Taking care of your body, right? Watching people, places, and things, right? Sometimes the easy way out is you're on a cocktail, as they say. But now you got to, with meds.
Oh.
Right?
Like, wait a minute, now hold on.
Right? So that's where we're going with this is, first of all, let's set it up for next month, right? Psychotropic meds are synthetic forms of chemicals, right? Hormones that our bodies naturally produce. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
All right? That's where we're leading at. So I want everybody to assess that, right? If you've been with us all month, we've been talking about self-care, right? Spirituality, different practices, and just assessing your life, right? But now let's take a look at, how do you feel right now? Are you physically okay? Do you need to see a doctor for anything, right? Are you enduring pain because you're telling yourself you have a high tolerance for pain? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why do you even want to test that? Right? Think about that, okay? And we talked a lot about the gut because we know the digestive system, right, produces a lot of those hormones. And then that's off. Then, of course, there are other systems that can have a domino effect. All right? So there we go. All right? We're going to start there. Next month, we're talking about psychotropic meds. Again, we're doing this series. We're going to jump into psychotic meds, antipsychotic meds next month. All right?
Sound like a plan.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for my doctor gave me a prophetic word this year: eat less and move more. Let the church say amen. For real. Yes. There we go. Thank you, Felicia, for that last comment there. Again, y'all have a great evening. Thank you for tuning in live. Be safe. Don't cry too much.
Wow.
How you said, "Are you
always? Woo, boy.
All right, y'all. Be safe. We out.